Okay, so I've been thinking back to times when I first started sharing the gospel, and the kind of pitfalls that I commonly fell into when I first got started. Right after Bible college, I remember one specific time that my wife and I engaged with a guy named Brent. He invited us over to his art shop, and we both knew what was on the table. The question on the table is who's right. He was LDS, is LDS, and we, of course, are biblical Christians. And the question is who's right, right? These are really important conversations, and I would encourage you to set them up as often as you can, because they are great opportunities to sit down and really engage about the gospel. But I quickly became confused, disheartened, discouraged in that conversation with Brent, and many times when I first began sharing the gospel like this. And the reason why is because it quickly became a game of cat and mouse. What I mean by that is I would say, oh, I got you right here. This one verse disproves your whole religion. And he would come up with a reason to say, not true. For example, Isaiah 45, verse 22. Look to me and be saved, all you ends of the earth, for I am God and there is no other. Well, Mormonism believes that there are many, many gods. So we're eventually going to become gods ourselves. So that can't be true, that there's only one God in Mormonism, and the whole religion falls apart in a single verse. And this is a point that's reiterated by Isaiah several times in that same chapter, chapter 45, and throughout that entire section of the book, over and over and over again. I am God, I know not one other. It's just so repetition. Isaiah's really trying to hammer this point home to us. Well, Brent turns around and says, no, he's saying that there's no other God, but because he is the only God with whom we have anything to do with. The other gods, they might as well not even exist because they don't matter to us. So it's not literal language, it's hyperbolic language. And I'm just like, what? No! And I remember, we'd talk about something like that for a moment, and then he'd say something there that I'd go, well, that's wrong in what you just said because of this. And we'd talk about that for a moment, and then he'd say something in that I disagree with, and so we'd talk about that for a moment. The conversation just became this game of cat and mouse. We'd just jump all over the place without any real direction. The way to get away from that is by not following every single thing that somebody says that you disagree with. Don't jump on every single thing. Point out, be patient. Be patient. Evangelism requires a lot of patience. It's incredible how much patience it takes. But if you let somebody speak, allow them to share, they're going to say a lot of false things. And you're going to want to tell them all the reasons why they're wrong on all of those points. Be patient. Because then it comes your time to talk. Number one, that lays down, I respect you, you respect me. When you're talking, I don't interrupt. When I'm talking, you don't interrupt. It's respectful conversation. Secondly, that really helps because then when you let somebody talk for a while, you get to really understand what they think. This goes along with my other video about listening, right? And with that, they've shared with you a lot, and you get to choose now the direction that you want to go, because they've shared all sorts of different things, right? So from all that they shared, pick the thing that's most relevant to the conversation, the most central to the gospel, and the thing that you know that you can speak to the most because you have studied that area out. That's going to help to get away from this game of cat and mouse, center the conversation on the gospel, and allow you to speak to things that really, really matter. That's your gospel tip for the day.